Isn't he Mexican?
Colombian.
He calls himself American.
What is this?
𝒔𝒐𝒄𝒊𝒂𝒍𝒔.
And in this corner, it's the American Anchor Baby.
Daddy's home.
That's an offensive term. People find that hurtful.
You mean it's not politically correct? Excuse me. I'll use the word anchor baby.
You know, he's an anchor baby in Canada.
Tell him we still rolling with Trump, too.
Anchor baby, the whole thing sounds horrific. You're just making it sound like immigrants are these horrific, greedy people.
Ustedes pueden aceptar mi negocio o aceptar las consecuencias. Plata o plomo.
So you would be considered white, in my opinion.
You the blackest one in this room.
I think so.
And what happened was his mama got pregnant on the other side of the border, and then a few hours before, just before it was time for him to pop out, she jumped across the border and let him fall on American soil. So he became the anchor baby. You don't call him the anchor baby for nothing. Amazing.
We like this anchor baby, right?
Hello, I'm the American Anchor Baby, and this is my show. Welcome. Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate that. Jumping in here from Joel's stream there. Appreciate it, folks. About to get started here, as we do. American Anchor Baby. And there's crazy things going on. I think crazy is the theme. Crazy is the theme, that's for sure. Maybe crazy is always the theme. But it's the theme today. And there's a crazy video. There's no first graders in South Korea, and they got an approval on how to deal with your depression if you just download one simple app. It seems like crazy is the theme a little bit, and we're gonna keep it loosey-goosey a little, but theme is the crazy. Crazy is the theme. Dyslexia, maybe that's a kind of craziness. Disgusting secrets about men. Whoa. Disgusting secrets about men is what some person is talking about. And in the midst of all this craziness, maybe we can find just a little bit of space with our own craziness. How you doing, folks? What's up, Jake Hudson? Pleasure. Right on. Appreciate that. And everybody who's on Rumble, everybody who's over there on D Live. Yes. Craziness. Crazy. April Fools. I was telling you about April Fools the other day. And the algorithm was maybe not listening to me. It's April 1st did pass. It makes sense. Fed me a little video. So I do want to show you a video. We got a little video for you. And it's a prank. And I know some people don't like pranks. There's some people who really don't like pranks. It makes them crazy. It drives them insane. What do you mean you're pranking me? You're joshing. I'm confused. Let me in on the joke. People get pranked, and it drives them nuts. I want to show you one lady here. And we're, like I said, keeping it loosey, keeping it goosey. I had some callers try to call in. You could call in 888-775-3773. Maybe you'll find this interesting. I know I found this at least somewhat humorous. Honk and flip off my mom. Mom, April Fool's prank. Honk and flip her off, putting the sign on my mom's car for April Fool's Day. So silly. It's so silly and benign and a little prank. What could be so wrong about this video? There could be, right, Nick? Apparition speaking to Nick in his head? Anyways, watch. Flip off my mom.
What the hell was that? Why is that guy honking?
Oh, by the way, we're keeping it loosey, we're keeping it goosey, and the Anchor Baby may not have caught all the cuss words. So I do apologize. This April Fool's mom may lose her religion in this video here.
For April Fool's Day.
What the hell was that? Why is that guy honking at me? Why is everybody honking at me? I don't know. That guy just gave me the goddamn finger. What did I do wrong, jerk-ass?
GD.
What the Christ? That's
What the?
Fourth person already.
What the C?
So Jesus God. The hell? I
JD?
did nothing wrong. What did I do? I didn't do a bloody thing wrong.
Why is everyone honking?
I have no idea. This is the weirdest thing. That guy gave me the finger. Goof, I'll fucking honk at him.
Goof?
Fuck you.
F words, by the way. Look, folks, that's F words. It's loosey-goosey. I'm very sorry. I know the sun is up, but it's how we got to do it today. I'm sorry.
How about that? How about that, goof?
She said goof, and I'm repeating it.
The fuck did I do?
so,
Idiot.
It's so weird.
What the hell? I didn't do one goddamn thing wrong. That's why people go through road rage. What did I do? I'm going straight down the bloody road. Like, get lost.
Okay, it's fine. It's probably just some cranky people.
Probably some cranky people. Just, listen to your daughter here. Hilarious post. That girl's too pretty to have come up with this joke. Somebody gave her the idea. I don't know if you wanted me to repeat that. Hey.
Girl's cranky. It's a beautiful day. What are you cranky for?
What are you cranky for? Says the lady. What are you cranky for? Stop being cranky.
I'm gonna go out.
It's such a beautiful day. Stop being cranky.
Monday drive, beautiful summer. Then somebody again. Honest. Somebody again.
Again, bro?
Oh my God, another guy. What the frig is going on today? Honest to
frig.
God. Okay, buddy.
What's worse? What's the worst cuss word so far? Is it Christ? Is it goof? Is it? She's like, what the Christ? Is she Canadian?
Yeah. Fuck you too.
Whoa! She got the flip
What the
off.
Christ did I do? I'm going the speed limit.
Flipping
Go
the
around
bird.
me then. You jerk. Go around.
Go around.
Honest to God. Hey, I'm getting all nerved out here today. I can't believe this. That's about the 10th person. What the Christ? Honest to God.
We're almost done. We're almost done.
The world's gone mental. Do I have something hanging
Oh
on?
yeah, right on, lady. The world, the whole world's gone mental.
I know.
There goes somebody else. You gotta be damn well kidding me. Fuck off, baby. Fuck off. What the Christ? Honest to God. Another one.
This is important, okay? It sets up my whole show. Please deal with the F-bombs.
That person is crazy. Why is everybody honking at me?
We should just go home.
No, I want to go home now. That person just gave me the finger. What is wrong with
How
this
many
day?
people is that now?
I have no idea. 20, maybe 25 people.
25?
Sorrow day. I gotta get home.
This is the part where it gets interesting, if it wasn't already interesting. Listen up.
The world's ending and we don't know it. Maybe something's going on and they're trying to tell us.
What?
That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen in my life.
What?
I'm going home. That's it. Forget it. Forget it. Forget it.
Oh, she's done. This crazy world has driven her. Thanks, little Nick. This crazy world has driven this mother insane. Too far, Nick. 3 monkey face emojis with the hands up to the ears, plug in the ears. Thank you for dealing. Thank you for dealing. This insane world has driven her crazy. I too enjoyed this post. It was silly, and maybe you should listen to the daughter there. Hey, let's just go home. Calm. This is cranky people, Mom. Why are you letting the cranky people make you cranky? If they are cranky, maybe they don't. Maybe they don't even have any ill will. You don't know. What if someone put a little funny little prank sign behind your car? You didn't consider everything. But she did. It's funny how she did consider something. She considered the end of the world. She's like, the world is ending. I got to drive home. What if the world is ending? They're trying to tell me the world is ending. You gotta understand. That would be quite. It would be bizarro world, like she said. Wouldn't you agree? You get all these honks. And I'm like, okay, wait. Maybe there's cranky people on the road, daughter. But 25 in a row flipping me off. Obviously, they are the problem, not me. There's like levels to the video, and I found it funny and interesting. The levels, being the mind and all that. The things we talk about. The craziness that is in us. The craziness in me. I'll talk about me. Look, if you have to talk to yourself, to understand something, to understand a situation, you're crazy. You're being crazy. You're in a thought. If you need a story, to explain your situation and explain the behaviors, let's get even a little bit more simpler. If you need a story to explain your feelings, you're crazy. You're being crazy. If you feel tension, if you feel any tension, you're making conclusions. If you're blaming, you're crazy. And I know it's like, Nick, she was pranked. This poor woman was pranked. She was at the mercy of a prank. Maybe you would have reacted the same way, maybe. But that would be crazy. That would be crazy. I just find it funny. It's interesting because it's silly. It's a prank, and we can yuck it up. But also, man, I wonder if her daughter expected all that to come out of her mom like that. I don't know if you guys share this notion, but a lot came out of her. Don't you agree? A lot came out, more than just being pranked. A lot came out. Insanity came out. And she thought the world was ending. If you need a story to explain what you're feeling, you're being attacked. That's not even your story. Okay? And why would you need a story? Think about it. Why would you need to be you got mad and you're just like, that's because this. And that's why. And you're in your head, you're like, that's why. Because of this. You're being crazy. Don't be crazy. Don't be crazy. Why? Why are you so nervous? Funny video, funny stuff. Look, like I said, crazy might be a little bit of a theme. 888-775-3773. I came across a crazy thread maybe that I had to pull on. Can you pull on Twitter threads? Yes, you can. So I'm pulling on the thread. You're hearing this woman talk. We'll get to her. I'm pulling on the thread, and I get to the Korea Herald. Korea Herald. .com. I don't know why I'm surprised. Does Korea have a domain? Okay, KoreaHerald.com is in English. This is just me reacting, okay, folks? Over 150 schools have no first graders, as according to, the Ministry of Education. South Korea, February. This is from February 26th, so a couple months ago. 2024, 157 elementary schools across South Korea don't have any first graders set to enroll in March. And I don't know how deep that is, but it's the thread I was pulling on, right? I'm like, dang, no first graders at all. I mean, 157. You got to assume these 157 schools that are elementary schools are pretty used to getting first graders. I mean, they built 157, at least of them. We're trying to keep it simple, right? According to the ministry, nearly every provincial and metropolitan area across South Korea had at least one elementary school that was not expecting new students. Now, what's crazy about this? Well, there's just a couple of things that people are saying. They have reasons why they think this is happening in South Korea. And we're going to be drawing some parallels here. We're going to be doing our best with that, right? Have you heard of the 4B movement? This might be crazy. 4B movement, you might be familiar with similar movements. I'll let you come up with the acronym. I'll let you come up with the letters. I'll give you a hint. Starts with an M. South Korea doesn't have any first graders. They're saying it's because of the 4B movement. Korean women weren't playing when they said, we're not having any more of your kids till your misogynistic ways stop, is a tweet that went super viral by a Farrah C. Fortune. Don't know who this person is, doesn't put a picture. They're a director for African Star Communication. She went viral for that. Korean women weren't playing when they said, we're not having any more of your kids till your misogynistic ways stop. Now, you might remember something I mentioned, and I believe I learned of it thanks to, I think it was Death of the West, Patrick Buchanan. He's talking about a Korean reporter who agreed with someone's question about Korean women not wanting to have children. Not having children. I'm trying to find her name. I forget. But this reporter was saying that the reason they're not going to do it. Everything good, Bill? Yeah. Oh, you look like you were about to. You had your phone out, and you look like you were about to tell me the name of this Korean woman. You probably have no idea what I'm talking about. Sorry, folks. Bill looked like he had his phone and walked in. Looked like he was about to tell me the answer.
I'll throw one thing in.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
She will not. Either way.
You want to say it on the mic?
They won't have kids either way.
Who won't have kids?
They won't have more kids, either way. If men were not misogynist, they still wouldn't have.
So Bill's saying that he thinks the Korean women would still not have kids, even if the men stopped their so-called misogynistic ways. Do you mind saying a little bit more on that? Can you expand what you mean in just a little bit?
I mean, I think that's just how it is.
Because I think you're right.
It's all BS.
Fascinating. If you think of anything else you want to say, Bill, jump on the mic.
Over here, if you think back, they said the same kind of thing.
Over here, so Bill just said that over here in America, the women, something similar happened?
Say whatever.
Please come on the mic and say what you said. Please, 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 please. I begged him, folks, and he's doing it. Thank you, Bill. I really appreciate it. It'll be short, right? I don't want to just relay what you're saying over to the people that are trying to listen. I'm sure you'll say it quickly, and then I won't even put you on camera. Thank you, sir. Because this is fascinating. The Korean women are saying, they said this is what I was just telling the folks, okay? I was just telling them about this Korean reporter, and this was a while ago because Patrick Buchanan was reported on it, that she said, you're right, we aren't having children, and it's because we're sick of you, basically. The men.
I'm saying, even if the men, all the misogyny stopped, whatever they're talking about, it would still go the same way. It's just their way of trying to get what they want.
Oh, interesting.
That's all it is.
Okay,
and you see that happening over here with liberal women and whatever kind of progressive thing they're going after the progressives. They do the same thing. They say whatever to get what they want. They lie, cheat, whatever.
The part that interested me was when you said that, and I'll let you go after this, is you said that they tried doing that here. And I grew up only knowing, like, you got to treat women this way, you know, it's the patriarchy, and, you know, it's just been it's been so long.
I'm kind of talking about
At one point,
overall.
women were saying, hey, if you change your ways, we'll team up with you or something?
I'm not getting that specific, really. But it's like, whatever works, you know, to get their agenda. Okay, you know, everything's on the table. You know, forget truth. Okay.
Thanks for that, Bill.
They don't. That's really my only point.
And I think I have some upcoming. I'll alley-oop your statement here because I have some examples and some stuff
if
I
I
think
can
I want
only
to say.
think of the examples. I mean, there's stuff that I remember being told, and when we were in school, other things, it was all bull, all of it.
Based
I
Bill.
mean, if I could just remember all the stuff, you know.
It's like when I
sometimes
hear-
I remember a little bit of it, and you know, folks will admit it if you could remember it.
Very
they're not even the progressives aren't even going to bring any of this stuff up because it totally discredits them.
Totally.
Yeah.
It really does.
It's just
that is interesting. I see Christian women doing a similar thing, and they'll be like, well, you know, it's just the men, or just women who are thinking about morality. They'll be like, yeah, but we're just doing what the men are doing. We're just following what the men are doing. And, you know, if only they change their ways. I just wonder. Yeah, I have to say, I agree. I doubt the sincerity and the shallowness, because it's like how all people are. We all promise to change.
Yeah, promise.
Man, appreciate that, Bill. I'll alley-oop your statements here with some examples. And you can walk in front of the camera, no problem. Oh, well, thank you, man. He's not walking in front of the camera. And going against my shabby, I won't call it shabby, I'll call it quaint, like Hake does. Going against my impulse, really weakness. So thank you, Bill. Thank you, Bill. We got, he's saying, where were we? We're talking about the Korean women here. Bill Enjoyer's vindicated. See, I tried to tell y'all. So where were we? Let's reel it in here. 888-775-3773 if you are wishing to call in, because they are no first graders in these Korean schools. They're talking about the 4B movement. Let me tell you a little bit about this. I told you about that reporter. I can't remember her name. Let's see if I could quickly find it here. Apologies, but there was this reporter who Patrick Buchanan was talking about, who was saying this. Yeah, Korean women aren't going to have the kids until you make it. I'm trying to remember her a little bit more accurately. She was saying until marriage and child rearing becomes like I think she said a favorable proposition or something like that. It's like you make it make it favorable for us? How about you make it easy? How about you make it? And okay, there's a lot of ideas going on about this, and if someone can maybe remind me, what are 𝒏𝒊𝒂𝒎 here? Remind me, what are some of the reasons that women are saying like that they're saying that either society or the patriarchy or whatever has made marriage and child rearing unfavorable for women? I'd like to know, because it seems like tulips. It seems like, how do I put this? You know what? Maybe you'll understand what I mean if I continue here by telling you about the 4B movement, something that people are apparently afraid of. Korean women weren't playing when they said, we're not having any more of your kids. And there was this video being shared, and it's a woman in Korea. Oh, let me see if I can find it here. Hold on. Where'd I put that? 4B movement. Let me tell you what it is real quick. And I see your calls coming in, 888-775-3773. 4B, or 4 No's, is a feminist movement which originated in South Korea in 2019. The proponents renounce dating men, marriage, sex, and having children. So which is B, because I guess the word no in Korea starts with a B. Actually, hold on, because all these 4, sex with men, 𒒏�𝒄𝒊𝒂𝒍𝒔, child rearing, �𝒊𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒕𝒓𝒆𝒂𝒎, dating, 𝒏𝒊𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒕𝒓𝒆𝒂𝒑, marriage, 𝒏𝒊, 𝒏𝒊. Okay, look, I'm sorry. I love the Koreans. It's cultural appropriation I love, okay? I like doing the sounds. I like doing the things. Those are your 4Bs. They're saying no. Are the women in Korea going 𝒔𝒊? Except they're going 𝒔𝒊. Okay, let's get to the video that might explain what I'm trying to get at. There's a woman here commenting on this. The 4B movement, women not wanting to have children. And so how do I put this? Allow me a second. I got a little distracted. What did I want to say? Like Bill was saying, he doesn't think the women really mean it. That just make it favorable. Stop your misogyny. Then we'll be wives. We will be wives. We will be mothers and be happy with what we have. And he doubts that sincerity. So I want to show you something here. Let's just get to it. Boom. We're on TikTok, I think. We're on Twitter showing TikTok. And let's start. Let's just start the video. Might jog my memory here a little bit.
Korean women have...
Okay, hold on. Let me turn it up a little bit. Korean women, says this, I think maybe an FBA. Are we looking at a FBA, folks? Foundational Black American?
Korean women have no idea what the 4B movement is, and we need to stop.
Never mind, not with that accent. I just got egg on my face instantly. Let's watch.
No idea what the 4B movement is, and we need to stop this misinformation.
Okay, so thank you to my friend Annie for making that video, because I am a Korean woman currently living in Korea, and I have so much to say about this topic. So most of the 4B movement videos that I've seen on TikTok are made from foreigners, and I think Korean Americans or just Asian people living in the West, but not actually people living in Korea. So like I said, I live in Seoul. What I think is
pretty interesting, no? You gotta leave space with everything. Sensationalism of the Western media.
Happening is the Western media.
Although I gotta say, 157 schools don't have first graders, and that's Korean Herald. Just putting that out there, right? Sensationalism, woman. Let's go.
Likes to really pick up on these sensationalist, provocative topics and then makes it into an article, and then everyone on TikTok follows suit and makes videos about it. But let me tell you, I am 29, going to turn 30 this year, and literally all the conversations that I have with my friends around my age is about, oh my God, we're looking to get married, we need to find good partners, and we need to do this before it gets too late or we're just like aged out of their marriage market, you know? And I just made a YouTube video about this, Korea's population crisis, why nobody's getting married or having babies. But I also explained there are services in Korea like marriage matchmaking services where people go and you pay a broker and you submit all this information about yourself, your income, your assets, your family background, if you have...
Look at the things they're trying to do to get around this chasm between men and women. They're not marrying and all that, they're not having the babies. And I know, I think the same way �𝒊𝒂𝒐𝒏 offers kind of band-aid blanket statements, although they are right about certain things, the same way �𝒊𝒂𝒐𝒏 offers a sort of like band-aid I think 4B might be doing a similar thing, and the people maybe mad at the 4B girls are also part of it too. You see what I'm saying here? Look, if you remember this campaign I showed you, it was like this ad campaign in Korea. Look, maybe I don't even have the example or the proof for you. This is anecdotal. This is my impression. But my impression is Korean men also have a problem with feminizing, or, understanding masculinity and feminine and being feminine, that the West has, okay? That a lot of the West has. You got to understand that is what's going on over here, right? There's the out-of-control women, their egos and all that, and the men. Like, you got to understand that the feminine, skinny little Korean man is kind of like, the representation. It's kind of like a marker of what happened. It's a marker in history. The same way an eroded mountain is a marker of a sea, of an ocean that once was. Seeing the men all feminine is a marker of what happened to the men. And seeing the women out of control is that same marker. Seeing it's just what happened. It's just what happened. When you see a woman like this, when you see the 4B movement happen, there is the opposing force, the shadow. The women are the shadow, the men are the light, right? There's the opposing force. As the women are doing the 4B, the men are also there. They have their weakness and their problem, right? It's this mirror thing going on. So, and this speaks to, if you're following me at all, to I think a little bit of this insincerity. I think, because you gotta. I just wonder if they get what they want. You're telling me you're just going to be women? We're just going to be wives. No. At the end of all that is a transformation of everything. If men stop being misogynist, then marriage changes. You know what I mean? Like, the whole thing changes. It's a brand new world. So she's saying, maybe I spent too much time on this. We'll move a little quicker here. I don't think she's insincere when she's saying that the Korean women are going around
radical.
They're all wondering, when were we going to get married? Like, I think that's a desire, but it's a different breed. It's a different type of woman. I don't know if she really wants to be a wife and all that. You get me? Okay, let's move a little quicker here. Let's move a little faster. I'm showing my green screen. What's going on here? What a mess. Let's move a little quicker. Crazy, right? Let's move fast, okay? Maybe I'm lost. We got Terri. I got a caller here that I could bounce off of to anchor us back into reality. Terri out of Oregon, appreciate your call. You're on the air.
Hey, Nick. Interesting topic.
Totally.
I have some personal experience with this. In my past, I was a feminist activist myself, and I actually made some connections with women in Korea, and they came to visit me, and we did some work together. Wow. So I have insight about this. I thought I'd be able to share and kind of give some background about how they got started with this big movement. Sounds very interesting. Yeah, sure. So it's your fault. You know I'm messing with you, right? Koreans, get her! No. But hey, well, hold on. Let's back up. Koreans that I just sent Terri's way. Back up 1 second. She was working with Korean women. Okay, yeah. Go ahead. Yeah. So interestingly enough, they did tell me that the movement was kind of inspired by what was happening in the U.S. In 2016, they mentioned how they were inspired by the big women's marches that we had, and then the Me Too movement. And they kind of piggybacked off of that for what they were dealing with in Korea, which at the time was the spy cameras. So the women were specifically kind of, I think a lot of them became really galvanized and enraged because there was this issue of spy camera technology being put in like women's restrooms and women being kind of victims of voyeurism. And in Korea, they have a very conservative culture. So if there were women who actually were outed, like they were found out who these women were, And these men online actually like were dropping their dog, contacting their parents, contacting their schools, you know, shaming them. And so there were a number of women who actually took their lives because of this, because of the shame and backlash. So women kind of were responding to that. They were trying to get legislation passed to protect them from voyeurism in this regard. Wow. And they also were kind of backlashing against the misogynistic attitudes about, you know
what? It's way more similar than I thought. The way you're describing these movements that happen in America and maybe and even before, like before I was born and all that, their similarities are even closer than I thought. Think about this: both the women's movements and voting and their suffrage, they too were also centered around so-called atrocities committed against women that galvanized the public in certain ways, and even a little terrorism.
Yeah, I mean, you got to have a little terrorism.
For women's suffrage?
For women's suffrage. It didn't really happen without it, yeah.
I understand. So you're saying, so you agree with the shall I call it, clunky language, allegations of misogynistic attitudes in Japanese society?
Well, Korean society.
Oh, Korean.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely. I mean, it's not. There's a different culture there, and definitely, if a woman has video taken of her without her consent when she's using the restroom, you know, it's not her fault. She's not.
Would you
done
call
any
this
crime?
I understand. Would you call this a misogynistic attitude? 157 elementary schools have no first graders. The future of Korea and the Korean stock is in question. Would you call that a misogynistic attitude?
I think that's. I don't know if I would call that.
Because it seems like hatred. What's misogyny? What's misogyny again? Hatred of women.
Mm-hmm.
Right. It seems like hatred of the little future female Japanese girls. I mean Korean girls.
Well,
I swear I know the difference. I'm not racist. I swear.
I think it's hatred, just general hatred that people have for one another, and because this movement's very radical, it's way more radical than anything I've encountered in the Western countries that I've dealt with. In terms of their feminism, they're way more severe. I definitely kind of lost a lot of connections I had when I stopped being interested in feminism. They didn't want to have anything else to do with me at that point. These women are very.
What made you turn away? What made you turn away from the feminism and all that? Like what you saw?
I got
I'm done
tired
with
of
this.
being angry. I got tired of being angry.
Nice.
I realized it was wrong.
Right on.
And that I wasn't any different than like what I hated.
Do you see it's wrong to call things misogyny? That's not even a real thing. That's like it's like saying something's a worse evil than other evils. It shows a shallow think. It shows like a shallowness in you. I
agree with that. I mean, did I bring up the word first?
I don't know. Maybe I did. My bad.
I don't know.
Okay.
It doesn't. I mean, I feel like there is specific hatred that exists towards women, or prejudice, or you can look at certain cultures and see that, maybe they have attitudes that are more. I don't know. They don't make sense to me as somebody from America. But
I hear you.
I think at the end
Terri,
of the day,
I'll let you say what you said. My apologies. I just cut you off. You were just saying?
At the end of the day, hate is hate,
Right. So if at the end of the day hate is hate, why even use that word? And why is specific type of hate to women even part of your vocabulary?
Oh, I think I don't generally use it personally unless it comes up in a specific context.
I understand. Okay,
so I mean,
I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's not something that I generally would drop or make an accusation of if I were to speak to someone. But,
but why would you ever? Why would you ever if hate is hate?
Well, right. I mean, I would generally just call it hating.
No, that was a question. I didn't. That's stolen
Wait, what?
valor. I said no. That was a question. That was stolen valor on my part. But hey, you set me up. Fascinating.
You
Can I
gotta
ask you
get
something
it
else?
somewhere.
Yeah. Can I ask you something else? Bill
Yeah,
was
of course.
talking about. He doubts the sincerity of the women saying that if the men would just, they if we meet in the middle or even more radical, like stop your misogyny or something, that we'll play ball. We'll start making those babies again, and who knows, maybe even more. What do you think about that? Do you think they're sincere about that, or?
I think it's really down to the individual, and I think a lot of them are in a culture, a lot of them are living very female exclusive lives now. The women that are involved in this movement, they're not interested. I think generally women who are more peripheral will make different choices based on what comes to them in life. But I do think that Korean society is just kind of in a crisis anyway, and there is this conflict between men and women that exists in a lot of other countries as well. I mean, it's here as well, so it can't really be.
Doesn't this fight show how evil women are? Doesn't it put a spotlight on how evil women are?
I don't know.
They hate men so much they're willing to end this. Like we talk about men's evil openly.
Mm-hmm.
We have no problem doing that, and I do that on my show, and you're welcome to do that. Hey, men got problems. I think I started off the show saying that, but they look. Men are clearly the more, and obviously maybe this is fake love, but clearly the more look, they at least aren't going to end the society. You see what I'm saying here? They're not going to at least end it. Because why?
Well,
what's really so bad? Like really, let's get down to brass tacks. When women are saying, well, it's just so misogynist that we're not going to play ball until you change. What is it that men need to change? What's so bad? What is so bad? I mean, you may not even agree with this woman, so that's not fair.
I think specifically they're wanting certain attitudes and laws to be changed in their country regarding things like voyeurism and, justice for women who've been impacted by, being made into pornography basically without their consent.
But isn't it just wrong for anyone to be wrongly recorded against, in a sexual
wrong,
way?
But it's not really illegal.
Okay, well, but you see how this is, you made it, I don't know about you, but women they're saying oh, women just want to change laws, but then that's not love. That's not based in love because you're saying, well, it's a woman thing. So then it's a lot of assumption. Now it's a whole accusation against men. Isn't it just wrong for anyone to be filmed, especially naked against their will, especially in a private place?
Of course it is. Of course
the laws are right. So this is not a female thing. It's not a woman's movement. So you see.
No, maybe everyone should be against this. I agree.
And then proportion starts to come into mind here. Japanese society, it's like, okay, yeah, ladies, that's bad. All right, we're with you. That's bad. No, upend society, change the laws. Da, da, da. It's like proportion is a conversation here, don't you think?
I mean, I don't know. I can't speak to their specific rage anymore. And they're enraged, and when you're possessed by anger, you're gonna go off and do crazy things and be an extremist. It's just
totally.
But then again, I also think there should be some sort of legal change, and it's obviously it wouldn't just impact women and girls, it would impact men too, and anybody.
Yes. No, I don't disagree with that at all. I don't disagree with that at all. I'm just pointing out the when they put that flavor, it's not for a good reason. When they go women with it, when they go, you know what I mean? They put that flavor.
Yeah, but again,
unless
they were
inspired
by us.
You know what I wanted to say something about that too. Inspired by us, I think I think that's a fair statement. I think it is a very general statement, but I think it's fair. So I'll say that. But I think when you kind of go into it a bit, you see that it's total. I wish I had more examples for you, but it started kind of popping up around the world. Women's movements.
Mm-hmm.
This is my conspiracy, but I think it's they say there's a spirit in the world. You know what I mean? Influencing and.
You think it's the devil?
The devil.
the devil, and he's
devil's
working through the
movement
women
in the world
to
working through the women.
undermine all of our cultures and bring us basically to a grinding halt.
Yes.
I mean, I don't think you're wrong.
There's a.
I agree.
No, but I totally think that's. I mean, look at Korea. A lot of Japan. Very. They're going through the same kind of sickness that the West is going through. When you look at all the countries, I was looking at this the other day. I think I also learned this from Patrick Buchanan. When you look at the countries with the lowest birth rates, I think it's something like 22. Only 20 of them are in the West, so to speak. But there's 2 that are, so to speak, outside of the West, Japan and Armenia. I think Korea is also pretty in there, too. You got to wonder what's also in them. I think they've adopted the Western ways. Japan lost some connection to this identity, and I think they have. I think I agree with you. They've taken on similar ways. Sorry, Terry, go ahead. Anything else you want to say before we move the wheels here?
Yeah, I will say, too, I think when we look at the male side of this, I think men are pretty feminized in a lot of these countries. I mean, they're feminized in the West. They're definitely feminized in Korea and in, Japan and different places. So in that, when there's a vacuum of masculinity, women tend to get pushed into their masculine, and that tends to also make them enraged.
And I think it's like a false masculine. It's like a made up masculine.
Yeah, I mean,
they don't even know what it is. It's really just feminism. It's spirit of Satan. But look, I think you're right. I appreciate you saying that too, because I too wanted to make that point. It's quite easy to be like, look at the 4B movement and the women that are ending Korea. You'd be missing how feminine the Korean men are. That's a problem too.
Yeah, I mean, if they were masculine, then they would,
just make the babies, whether they wanted to or not.
They'd be able to deal with women in the right way, Right. And women wouldn't resent them and hate them because they would, There's a dance here between the sexes that goes on, so it's interesting to analyze and to think about how this is manifesting and how the devil is using resentment about things that happen between men and women to kind of destroy our societies. So,
right on, Terry. Appreciate your call. Call me again.
Yeah, take care. Bye.
For sure. 888-775-3773. I gotta look. Maybe I'm nitpicking, splitting hairs, but I'm having fun on my show, so allow me to do this. I think that one part right there, the whole but men gotta. We know this, and I don't want to discount that at all. Men in their proclivities or whatever have no foundation to really say no or whatever. Maybe that's the notion. I still think that's a little flimsy. Right is right no matter what. Even if every single man was wrong, right is right. And so with that statement, I want to just put that out there. It's like, I think women, because they don't, it's not a blaming of women, okay? You got to understand where I'm coming from. I just want to point this out that it's another way of shirking responsibility. It's like, okay, yeah, but maybe if the men, like that Korean woman, if the men stop being misogynist, I think the sincerity comes into question. It's just be right even if every single man in the world was wrong. Because that's what a decent man would say. So too a decent woman would say the same thing. If every single man and woman was wrong, I would just be right. Anyways, idealistic as it sounds. Look, the point is, I think it remains true what I'm saying. Tell me where I'm wrong. 888-775-3773. We got Lawrence, Idaho on the air. Sir, you're on. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, hi.
Thanks, Lawrence, for calling me again.
I'm here. Can you hear me? Yeah, you got me again.
You've called me before, right? Yeah, for sure you called me before.
Yeah, I called you yesterday, and I'm coming, day before yesterday. I'm
Thank
going back up to Idaho tomorrow. Listen, this is where I'm divorced, I said before. And some people were coming out saying, oh, he's got issues with that. I sued for the divorce. There was unfaithfulness.
Wait, someone's saying that you have issues? I missed that part.
No,
sorry.
Before I said, when I called him before, I said I was divorced. And it got used against me. No, I don't have issues.
You mean like the chat?
Yeah, because it's like, okay, I'm going to have issues with ladies because of it, or maybe I did something wrong.
The chat is the snake pit, man. But I understand. Go ahead, speak freely, but don't put too much importance on the snake pit.
Yeah,
we
I'm
love
not
the
even
snake pit.
doing
Go
it.
ahead.
I'm using this as a reasoning.
Thank you.
I go out there, and I've been on dating sites, and I'm done with that because when I speak with a lady, I speak with one. And those ladies have thousands of men. And I'm like, wait a minute. Those men on dating sites are players. Does anybody want somebody real? I talk a lot, and I do so, and I minister. I'm a Christian man. I don't use it as a platform per se. I try to wake people up a bit. And I talk to a lot of young men and men that are married. And about 30% of the men that I speak with want no part of a woman. And there's some good men. And they want nothing to do with them. And I asked them, they say, are you wanting one? They said, well, yeah, but there's no good women out there. And the women are saying, when I talk to them, oh, they can't find a good man. Well, you're on the wrong places. I'm on Facebook. I have no female friends. I have Christian men that are my friends and other men, but good men. And every once, and I don't have people that can friend me unless they're friends of friends. And all of a sudden I get nasty things. And I find out, oh, wait a minute, how did you get to me? Through one of my friends. And I tear into him, and I've done it. At the same time, I say, lady, I don't want anything like you. They have thousands of male friends and sickos. I don't do that on Facebook.
What are some of the things they're saying they don't want? They're saying the men are saying they don't see any good women. You're saying the women are saying they don't see any.
They're saying they don't.
What are some of the things they don't see? What are some of the things they're seeing they don't like?
OnlyFans, playing men too much. A long time ago, we take the internet out of it. And would you date a lady who's messing around with every man in the bar or club? No, called bar trash. Well, that's the same thing.
I bet you that was maybe more known, huh? Because I guess you couldn't hide it so well on the internet.
If you've got thousands of male friends, those men, you can see they're sick, they're crossing boundaries, and women keep them on them. They have it all over, and it's everywhere. You can't find it. And then I talk to them, and I'm like, okay, this is a nightmare. Men are inherently, think about this. Do you feel like men are inherently protectors and providers per much?
Inherently?
That's where they come from, as being a protector and a provider? That's how we were designed.
I'm trying to think about it, man. I'm sincerely.
Men are designed that way.
Yeah, I think it's maybe their job.
When the Titanic went down, it was women and children first, correct?
Yeah, sure. I don't know.
Now,
I disagree. I mean, I don't know. My life is.
It would not be. Now it would not be. If the Titanic happened, now it would be men and children first. Because women were looked upon as treasure, not equal. They were better than. In the Bible, they talked about how beautiful they are and jewels. Now they want.
Does that make them better?
It's not better. In some ways, they bear life. They bring life into the world. They're supposed to be mothers. Men are supposed to be the ones working in the force. Men used to work 1 and 2 jobs.
May I jump in,
while
Lawrence?
the women took care of the home. Go ahead.
I really want to jump in on that part right there. Did you know?
Jump in.
Did you know that what goes into your stomach leaves your body and never enters you?
Right.
You know that, and Jesus, I learned that from Jesus. He
said that.
Yeah, he said that because he was trying to tell people that what goes into you that way, don't be so shallow. That's not you. That's not going into you to defile you. The same way, the womb is the same way. So the women are not giving them life. The sperm is entering, the baby is being baked in the oven, and the baby comes out, but it never goes into the woman, and it has nothing to do with her. No.
They're terminating that life.
Wait, what? Oh, yeah.
They're terminating it. They're playing God. They're saying there's no soul. They're saying they are God because they can't. I ask them all the time, when did that soul enter the body? You are then playing God. You're playing Russian roulette with a semi-automatic pistol.
So you were saying men are jerks?
We've taken God out of school, and now we have school shootings. We've taken God out of men. Men are not godly. We've taken God out of women. They're prostitutes and bar trash and everything else. We've taken God out of children. They're not honoring their parents. They're it's all over the place. We've taken God out of families, and families are breaking. Yes, you said it when you were talking with the other lady. Satan is attacking through the family in all ways. Time's short. I'm 61. I'm close to meeting God. Never thought I'd get here. And I'm seeing it. I'm like, God, these are the things that people just won't slow down. Time is short. Bam, all of a sudden you're there. Is it really worth the mistake? Are you sure you want to play Russian roulette with a semi-automatic pistol?
And what's the mistake? Sorry, what?
This part I'm missing. Is playing God.
Oh, yeah.
No matter what. We all are afraid. I spoke to people. I do it all the time. I say, why? Because people want to enjoy the pleasures of the evil of the world, and they don't want to give it a chance. God says, why do you need a king? Why do you want a king? Because one day we want to be king. Everybody wants to be in power. Power corrupts completely once you receive it. And when you see these people, they want to enjoy the nastiness of the world. They don't want to miss it. What if God doesn't exist? I'm going to miss out. Then they end up, it adds. When you start acting sickly, you get sicker.
Oh, yeah. You believe it. So what's the solution between the men and the women? Did I hear you incorrectly? Did you say men are jerks?
Men are jerks, and women are, I'm sorry, but women are becoming bar trash.
Just now becoming?
If I want to say, no, it's been getting, well, it used to never be that way. It started, remember, women used to never show their ankle.
Ah. But I think that's because men were strong.
Look, I say this scenario, and people say it, and I say a few of them. One, if a man and a woman are married, and they're going to the beach on a beautiful day, and the woman gets sick, does the man go to the beach by himself?
I remember this. That was your conversation. You said it was wrong if a man went to the beach by himself.
Because no man wants to look at the water, endless water. My God, boring. We want to do things. We're men.
You've never met Hake.
We're men. I don't go out there. I want to fish.
Oh.
I'm not laying out on the sand. Come on, otherwise you're feminine.
Well,
I'm out there hunting, hiking.
Well, you're not
I'm playing.
You're not a. Well, you're not a. I understand. You made You're not a. Most people aren't mental heavyweights like James Hake,
with a lot of men.
Contemplates the curvature of the earth when he's at the beach.
It's not. It's not just.
Well, Lawrence, do you have a question or comment for me?
Yeah, think about. I want to say this. Okay, this is important. This is a biggie. I don't know if you're married or if you're in a relationship, but is it okay if a man cheats on his wife? Yes or no?
No.
Then why is it okay for people to cheat on God?
Wait, what do you mean? What do you mean by okay? Like, did you say is it
Everybody
okay
wants to
cheat?
say sin is in the world, so we're all going to be sinners.
I'm sorry, Lawrence. Can we
to
back
sin.
up just one moment? I may have been distracted. How did you say the cheating question again? Is it okay to cheat? Is that what you said?
Do you think it's okay for a person or man to cheat on his wife? You're a man. I'm saying it is okay for a man to cheat on his wife.
Yeah. I wouldn't say it's okay.
Okay, because they don't believe if you're a Christian man, you believe in not to commit adultery because it's one of the
And
commandments.
so why
correct?
are people cheating on God? Huh? How are people cheating on God?
Okay. So why are people? It's okay to sin, lie, cheat, steal, hurt other people. But we've taken love out of the world. Haven't you seen? You were talking about this before. It's love. We've removed love. Love God, love others. If you love others, you don't lie, steal, cheat. You honor, you're respectful, you're kind, you're courteous. You don't flip people off. Even the lady was talking about it. Hate. What's the opposite of hate? Love.
Well, don't go on a run-on comment, Lawrence. I appreciate that. I do appreciate your comment. I'm totally following you saying people are they're going around, we know cheating's not okay, but people are going around not examining their own sin here. Lawrence, I appreciate your call here.
Not just cheating, or about cheating on money, cheating on financial, stealing from people. Is it okay to do those? No. It's to find the one thing. My question to you is it's everything. You're bringing up the westernization, how it's done. Is it okay to do any of these things?
To do what things? You saying
any of what's
lying?
Wrong with the world. You're seeing what's wrong with the world in so many different aspects.
I just don't think that's the important question, Lawrence. About.
But that is the important question.
I personally don't think.
It's not okay.
I personally like if you ask me on a normal, if you ask me in a normal conversation, no, I think most, and I would as well. Respond with no. I mean, no, cheating's not okay if you're married. But since we continue talking about it, it sounds like it's important to you. I got to say, I don't think that's the important question. Whether the things we're doing
important or not.
Yeah, but
cheating is not the only thing.
I know, but I think whether the things we're doing is the lying and the cheating and whether they're okay is not the important question. I think the more important question is if you for example, here's the more important question. You just said we cheat on God when we lie and sin. So do you lie and sin?
Do I lie and sin? Everybody comes back. Even you come back and say that.
All right. Do you lie and sin? Lawrence, lie and sin?
I stop for a moment. No, I don't.
You don't ever lie?
Do you want me to tell you? Don't come back at me with that because I'll come back differently. I stop and I say, is it loving God what I do?
I'll put it like
and
this.
I
Do you
also
ever sin?
Say, well, is it loving others? Oh, I make amends immediately. I'm sober 36 years in Alcoholics Anonymous.
That's amazing.
I'll be
Lawrence,
37
do you ever sin?
years. Do I sin?
Yes.
See, this is what's so sad is everybody wants to. That's their excuse. When
No,
Jesus
I don't.
says,
I'm not trying to make an excuse. I'm not trying to do anything. There's no tricks. There's no tricks. There's no excuses. It's just a question. Do you sin? Yes or no?
I'm going to come back with something here.
Okay.
Did Jesus not say, "If you love me, you will keep my commandments"?
Do you sin, Lawrence?
Did I ask the question? Did Jesus say,
first.
"If you love me, will you keep my You will keep my commandments"?
No. I asked you one
Did he
first. No
say
take
that?
backsies.
No.
No, I asked you one first. No take backsies. No, but I said no take. I said no take backsies though.
Yes. Have I sinned? Yes.
And so
do I?
So does that mean you're cheating on God? See, I'm not, and the point is, again, Lawrence, I do not bring this at all to condemn you. At all.
That's the reason why we're in the issue.
No, Lawrence, please hold on. Hear me out, just one second.
Everybody comes with the same excuse, so it gives you credit to sin.
Lawrence,
but
just hold on.
It's giving you permission to sin because you want to say people sin.
No, Lawrence, please.
Oh, no, I'm going to come at you.
No, don't come at me,
You're
please.
giving an excuse to sin.
No, I'm not.
You're giving
me
an
out.
excuse to the sin.
Will you hear me out?
So you got,
please?
Because you don't want to be found guilty.
No.
You're going to try to make misery love
You don't even know what I'm going to say. Can I say?
You already said it.
No, I didn't.
Exactly what it is.
I did not.
Exactly what
I didn't. Lawrence, you're going to want to hear this.
3 or point back at you.
I'll put you on.
Before you ask me if I sin.
I really don't want to put him on hold. I don't think he's being ill-willed here, but I think he might be not listening to me. Lawrence, I got you on hold. Please listen. Look, all I'm trying to say is I'm not even condemning you. The reason I made you say that you were sinning, or that I asked you to examine that, was because I'm just trying to make my point here is that I don't think the important question is whether the things we're doing, are they okay or not? I think it's quite clear to you, Lawrence, that they're not okay. The question is, how come when you know they're not okay, you keep doing it? That's the question.
That's the point.
And so I think that's the important question. And I don't say this at all to condemn you because this is what we're all going through.
I don't keep doing it. I stopped doing it. I don't keep doing it. I don't cheat on my wife. I don't look at porn. I don't do it.
But you say you sin, right?
I'm sober 36 years in AA.
I don't have to. Don't tell us all your personal business, man. Don't put it out there. People are just going to judge you. Don't put out your personal.
No, I'm saying judge me. I don't care. Judge me. I'm 30. If I drink,
this is
I'm
for
dead.
Well, I appreciate that, Lawrence. Listen,
if I drink,
do you sin?
No. Do you want to know why? I don't drink. I don't drink.
I appreciate your call, Lawrence.
I don't have to sin. See, there you go.
Call me. Can you call me again on this, Lawrence? I really do appreciate the conversation. Will you call me again?
Oh, yes. I'll always call.
Thank you, Lawrence. I find it fascinating. Call me again, sir.
You got it.
888-775-3773. Amazing callers. You know, I was going to tell you about more crazy things. They got this app. A little bit of patience. This is going to be quick, callers. This is going to be quick. Just to break up the show a little bit. 888-775-3773. What was he saying there? Could I comment on... I'm asking myself for permission, I guess, but I want to comment on one little thing here. Talking with Lawrence there. And I was talking at the beginning of the show about stories and the stories we make and how we explain our situations and the feelings we have with these stories. He said, she said, and we have the story. And in the story, we're always the winner. In the story, we're the in the story, we're the one that was slighted. We're in the story, we're the ones who, you know what, maybe I'm not a victim, but you know what, he shouldn't have said that. And then, you know, somehow finagling, doing some mental gymnastics into being a victim again. In that story, we're always the winner, we're always the victim. I'm talking about stories at the beginning of the show. I'm showing you the Korean women, and I'm talking with Lawrence. He's saying the men are jerks. The women have some problems, but the men are jerks. And I wanted to say this about stories, that I think this enmity between men and women, and between the Korean men and women, yeah, the Korean men are, maybe they're feminine, and maybe the women are all feminist, and they're asking for too much. But what's really so wrong? The Korean women grew up with these men. Don't pretend like... You know what I'm saying? Like I'm talking about generational cohorts too, if they're similar. But hopefully you're following me here. I feel like all this hate between the men and the women, and really in the world, is the story we made. It's a story we made. Look at Olga. Olga was on Joel's show. You may have, if you caught Joel's show, great episode. He had a guest on. It was very nice to listen to. Look, Olga, nice girl. She was saying something, and this is just what came to mind right now. But I'm sure people have plenty of comments on the interview, and if only Joel had another hour. But this is what comes to mind. There was one moment where Olga was saying something about men and how men are always telling us to change, and the men are always telling us to be more feminine. She was saying, men are always telling us to be more feminine. I'm thinking, where? Where are these men that are being so tough and telling women to be more feminine? And if you watch the whole interview, Olga reveals that she watches like a lot of Fresh and Fit or something like that. So, Olga, it sounds to me like you're responding to the Fresh and Fit guys in your head. Because what men are actually going around? Look, we are mad at stories in our heads, folks. We are mad at stories in our heads. And we are always the winner. And we are always the victim. And we are always... it's a story. What men are doing that? Look, anyways, I wanted to tell you real quick, rejoin. They got an app. So at the same time, I'll do this super quick so we can get to calls. At the same time that Oregon recriminalized possession of small drugs. Do you remember this? On the JLP show, I think I was producer, reported on how Oregon, first in the nation to decriminalize meth, like really hard drugs. And this was going to be equitable. It was going to, it won't demonize these people who are suffering from unhoused disease or something like that, and the disease of addiction. Look, now at the same time that Oregon is now recriminalizing this due to, they're saying it's just out of control. Oregon Governor Tina Kotek signed a bill Monday restoring criminal penalties. At the same time that the experts' diagnosis of anxiety and your problems that you escape to, these people society is just seeing them badly. It's all this stuff. It's the law. They're being seen as criminals. So at the same time that whole thing fell apart and is crashing and burning, the FDA is greenlighting a digital treatment for depression. It's called an app called Rejoin. It's to help treat major depressive disorder. Rejoin provides 6 weeks of emotional training exercise and is meant to be used alongside antidepressants. Isn't that funny? It's called Rejoin when it's really all you got to do. You just got to rejoin life. You're in your head. You're in your story, and all you got to do is drop it and rejoin life. Just like that. You'll be back. Researchers reportedly say the app's benefits are minimal and require more studies. The researchers are suddenly feeling a little stress. I'm getting AIs coming after our jobs vibes. I'm getting AIs coming after our jobs vibes. And really, what's the difference between these so-called emotional therapists who went to school, researchers, experts, and an app telling you what they say? What's the difference? I get it. Some people have positive experiences because this therapist they talked to was like a real person, and that real person was trying to talk to another real person. They found some insight. Maybe this real person they were talking to was like an older individual and gave them some good advice. I get it. But an app can do it too, okay? So it's you want to overcome, you want to be free. I don't know. I can't tell you, but I'll point you maybe in the right direction. You're angry, and you got a spirit in you, and it's telling you all this stuff, that you're depressed. It's telling you the stories I was just talking about. You must be free of this spirit. Hopefully we can continue on our journey there. Folks, more calls. We got John out of Houston, Texas. Sir, you're on the air.
Hey, Nick.
Appreciate your call, sir. Go ahead.
That's so discreet that they would call the app Rejoin.
Rejoin, huh? Yeah.
And that was a deep call with Lawrence.
Oh, yeah. Well, what part? Go ahead.
Well, at first he was trying to talking about Well, I can't really remember, but I just remember noticing how deep it was, and I wanted to ask.
Well, don't thank me.
Because
appreciate listening. Go ahead, John.
No, but like let me think. Like Lawrence, he was talking about like taking God out of things and stuff like that. Okay, he was talking about taking God out of children. I relate to that. Taking God out of men, taking God out of women, and so it reminds me of like the social media, and you can really see people trying to take advantage of social media. And you got these women doing the 4B movement.
Yeah, in Korea.
And
dang.
So we got black women here and black men, and, you know, who believe that white people are, you know, they're better than us. They're better. There's white supremacists. They must be better than us, you know. Like,
True,
what
I
Jesse
hear
said.
that. I wonder if they even know what they're saying themselves. They're saying their white people are better than them. But yeah, I do hear the same things.
So is that the same thing as what the women are doing over there in Korea?
Yes, I think so, man. I think that's actually really simple. let me think about this, but just what you're saying there, yeah. I think that's a simple way of looking at it. All angry people think they're better. All people who think they're better blame and say and want to control and want to change others and not themselves. Doesn't that describe 4B movement? What do you think, John?
Yes, and you know what? Who are you to think about? They're just using social media, so you know, it's just like, are you really changing anything? Are you really working on yourself? You know, are you working to see if you're going to attract someone, and then and you're going to stay at that baseline, you know? Or are you going to go back, fall back?
Yeah, I think these are all good
to
questions.
another baseline.
No, I agree, John. I think those are all good questions because what is getting better, right? If their idea is, well, we just want marriage and the whole thing to work to be a better or favorable because you're mistreating women. So our goal is for women to not be mistreated, and but it's not hate. But what's the effect right now? Well, there's 157 schools with no first graders. I wonder, will women recalibrate? Think maybe we're not doing our express goal here, or will they just blame the men? You feel me?
Yeah, and you know what? They're out there. They're out in the open, and you know, there's like deers getting caught in the headlights when these pickup artists come by and treat them like crap, and you know, it's just a cycle.
John, aren't you? I know you called me before. You were the one who had Were you the one who was thinking about living with some family or something like that?
No.
Apologies, John. No problem. I thought you were someone else. I was just wondering how all that went.
Close.
Oh, close?
Close, yeah, that's close.
Something similar, right? Oh, I don't want to make you speak about things, personal stuff, but I was just wondering how all that was going.
No, I kind of got there was a guy that was doing that, and you know, I kind of scolded him for that. There's a guy at your church, and I scolded him for that question. I think because he called in.
Oh.
And he wanted to ask which is like, he wanted to ask about it, but
that's no problem, John.
So,
anything else you want to ask me or talk about?
No, I wasn't going to ask anything else.
Right on, sir. Will you call me again?
Yeah, we'll call you again. It was a great show. Interesting topic, so I wanted to call.
Right on, sir. Well, I appreciate that. Call me again. Call me again. John, 888-775-3773. If you want to call in. Carver, thank you for the super chat. 4B equals 4 babies. Since they are for making babies, right? Appreciate that, Carver. With the super chat, let me see who else is super chatting here. Let's go, Nick. Thank you, Chris. At the outset, at the beginning there of the show. Let's go, Nick. Matthew with the super chat. He writes, outlaw the females driving, voting, or asking for managers. But Matthew, wouldn't that be like a, and I apologize, this is racialized language. I normally would say the K word. But Matthew, because I'm talking about Karens in a loving way, I feel maybe justified. Matthew, wouldn't you be outlawing Karens? And it's like, yeah, there may be some, we have our thoughts about women and how to control, but in this society, there's very few bulwarks left. You know what I'm saying? There's very few bulwarks left between us and chaos. And maybe some of these Karens might be part of that. I don't know. I'll let y'all smoke on that. Maybe ask Hake Report on that. We got Justin, Fullerton, California, waiting a while. Appreciate your patience. You're on the air.
Oh, thanks so much for taking my call. How are you?
No problem. All is well.
Well, I had a thought to talk about because of what you brought up. I was listening to the South Korean ladies and their issue with, very perverted men in South Korea. And I was going to talk about Lawrence, what he said, just briefly, because I think his was pretty powerful. I think there's sins of omission that I got that people do, and there's sins of commission. You can be tempted to do something, but you don't have to sin. But sinning in and of itself is being when you're tempted to do something alone, not actually always doing the action. So to tie that into what I was originally calling about, to talk about, I think South Korean men are...
I'm sorry to cut you off, Justin. Sorry. Don't forget what you're saying.
Yeah.
Don't forget what you're saying. You're talking about sin, though. I just want to back it up. What was the sins of what was the sin again?
I'm not sure if you ever heard this. There's a sin of omission and sin of commission.
Yeah, I think I've talked to you about this.
Oh, okay. So then, I hear that being tempted in of itself is sinning, and we're not supposed to sin. And if our right hand causes us to sin, cut it off. So Lawrence was very, deep and on point about how we all do sin, and we need to acknowledge that it's at the temptation level.
I gotcha. So the I think I'm following, yeah. So that's a sin. That temptation that's in us is the sin.
Yeah, commission. And then omission is when you do it.
So it really is all the sin. It's all that thing living in you.
Jesus said better to cut your hand off or you pluck your eye out rather than your whole body go to hell.
Forgive me, Jesus, for being doubting Thomas, but when I cut my left hand off, will this spirit be cut off too? I just want to be sure. Will this spirit depart too? I just want to be sure.
No, I don't think. I think as in Easter when he.
Hey, you're responding like Jesus. I said Jesus. No, I'm joking. I'm messing around.
I was going to say I think that he had revealed after Easter rising again that his physical form was with us and his spirit.
Could you come back to your phone? You went buzzed again.
Oh, can you hear me now?
I think it's okay.
Yeah, I think Jesus is. There was doubting Thomas who had to put his hands through the hole of his wrist, but there were obvious benefits to those who believe and have.
Come back to your phone, Justin. You're getting worse and worse.
Can you hear me now?
There you go.
I was just saying. What was I saying? I think that the thing that Jesus really wants us to know is that there are things that can cause us to sin, and there are things that we are aware of, and it's our heart that God judges, and that's why when doubting Thomas had to put his hands through Jesus's wrist to see the holes, I believe that from what I read in the Bible, that Jesus said we are more blessed that we have heard but not seen him, and so that's us, not the apostles.
If I may, about Lawrence, I understand that you're saying that you get what he's saying, that those things are sins, the temptations, and what he was saying too, right? The lies, the cheating, that those are all sins that focus on what is wrong. What do you think about my question on why is it that now that we know those things are wrong, why can't we stop?
Now that we know those things are wrong, why can we not stop?
Yeah, if you have any words on that.
I don't want to get too abstract, but there is also the quenching of the Spirit's fire. So when we have been given the Spirit, not the Spirit of our, not our soul, but the Spirit of God that lives in us, and we quench its fire, well, we're actively, openly involved within sin. And so with that being said, the obvious conclusion is that we're not supposed to be living in the flesh. And we're actually been, like, we're not androids, right? We're not like robots. We were given one thing, and that was called choice. And that act
of not
choice,
androids?
Yeah, we're not robots. We're not even, like monkeys. We are distinct. We are given free will, choice.
You've never met me. And I wonder what you're like a little bit.
Well, I would say that
you make choices.
I would say that being without choices.
All the time you make choices? 100%.
Every time, Nick. Every time.
Do you sin?
Every single time we make choices.
Do you sin?
Do we not have temptations?
No. Do you sin?
Yes. And the choice is to actually act upon the sin or not. But even if we didn't sin and act upon it, like a woman was slapping me in the face, I have a choice to return a slap or be like Jesus and turn the other cheek.
I'm slapping that woman.
You're slapping that woman? Well, my flesh, I would say so.
I'm feeling no ways about it.
I hear you,
she slapped me,
bro,
right?
But I feel you, what you're saying. But no, there's a time where the devil is amongst us, and that's in our emotions. And as men, we're supposed to control
ourselves. No, but I said I'll feel no ways about it, is what I said. You missed the second part of my statement.
About it. Oh, okay.
I'll slap her and feel no way about it, is what I said.
You'll slap her and feel no way about it.
I'll slap her. She's hitting the ground. And
and she's gonna look
there's
at me, choices, right, Nick?
She's gonna be like,
why not just walk away? Since you asked me questions, what do you think about that? What about walking away?
Well, maybe. We're going with hypotheticals, and in my hypothetical, I slap her. Of course, in reality, when you're in the situation, as you do, as in the situation you are. And
do you sin when you react and you say a bad word to that woman?
But I thought you said that sin was the feeling and the emotions. I told you I'm not feeling anything when I slapped her down to the ground with my hand possibly closed. Depends on I don't know where the sun is.
Yeah, these are definitely deep issues, and I think with the women in South Korea.
But I said I feel no ways about it though.
Oh well, I would say that there are definitely things to make choices on and feel, and just to kind of tie this conversation into what I called about the people of South Korea are a Christian country, and they should be about their law, just like in Oregon. That woman made the restoration of the law against people that use methamphetamines.
Huh. I didn't know they were Christian. That's so fascinating.
South Korea is
that makes
not
sense,
a
though. I see them out here, and they're Christians sometimes.
They're not a 100% Christian country because I mean, people have choices, right? But there are Asian countries like Indonesia that are 90% Muslim. There are countries that are communist that are 100% atheist. So, this country is known to be a Christian country, and they have perverted people without punishment, and therefore their land is lawless, and they're having the women reacting the only way that a good woman should, is stay away from creeps and perverted men.
That is so interesting, man. Thank you for that, by the way. Interesting stuff. Christianity in Korea. That might explain what's going on if you think about it.
it's a
if the
struggle
Christians
between
in
men and
Korea
women.
are
Yeah.
anything like the Christians over here, it might explain what's going on. And one, can I ask you one last question before you go?
Okay.
Let's say, you're walking down the street, and you hear some pitter pattering. You hear pitter pattering of steps running quickly towards you.
Pittering pattering, yeah.
You turn around. You see a little brown woman. She slaps you in the face. What do? She slaps you in the face and continuously slaps you unyieldingly. She's not letting up. She just continues to slap you anywhere she can get you, on the arms, on the side. She's just slapping away. What do you do?
Well, in that instance, I might make a choice to defend myself and push her away and then try to leave the situation, and that would be that, hopefully. And
Wait, why
if
am I the
not,
crazy one for slapping this woman that slapped me to the ground, and you're just defending
you're
yourself?
not. There's choices, bro. There's situations, and God judges the heart, and I'm not to tell you, like, what's right and wrong.
I may have missed you saying that, and that makes so much sense. Appreciate that, Justin. Right on.
Right or wrong, it's not for us to
the
judge.
heart. No, he totally, and he sees that, and you know that in yourself. That makes so much sense, Justin. Appreciate that.
Yes,
Can
sir.
you call me again?
I will. Thank you.
Appreciate it, sir. 888-775-3773. It's just call bonanza right now. What else? I mean, I did say the theme was crazy. Maybe I could do this quick. There's this TikTok. This guy, you know what? I'm just going to have to save it. We're showing love to the calls. They're talking about disgusting secrets about men. This one man is defending Diddy in an interesting way. And I don't know anything about the facts and all that. But in a time where it's so easy to be like, oh, that's evil, point out evil, I appreciate the ones who are taking a step back and trying to point out how easy it is for everybody else to be evil too. What I'm getting at is, I forget his name, is saying, the women involved, kind of like what Joel was saying the other day, the women involved with Diddy and the people involved with Diddy, it's probably not all, and in most cases probably not all just total victims here, okay? Willing participants. I'll leave it at that. Maybe we can get into it tomorrow. Showing love to the calls. Let's get to Garrett, New Hampshire. You're on the air.
Howdy, Nick. How's it going?
All is well, sir. Appreciate your call. Go ahead.
So I was going to talk about the 4B and try to relate it to a spiritual level in the way that it kind of made sense to me.
Nice. Thank you, sir. Go ahead.
So at the beginning, Adam was created, Eve from Adam, and when they turned from God, Eve listened to the devil and ate the fruit and then convinced Adam to eat the fruit. Men are made to be leaders and women are made to be followers. So thinking about something that Joel said a few weeks ago, he said that, the devil doesn't tempt him with alcohol because he knows that it won't affect him, so he goes at him in other ways.
Right.
Bringing that all together with the 4B movement and talking about the women not wanting to give the other Korean men babies. So it's almost like they think that and they want the men to change. It's almost like they think that that has to be given to them, like their gift to be given to the men, and they have to be the ones that give that, make that decision. On the other side, the men being perverse, that leadership might be manifested when brought with sin as a conquerorship, like taking them as possession.
That makes sense, man. Like taking them as possessions. I think if you follow this conclusion, which I don't think most women are, but I think some are on this 4B, for example, and this new society that they want, new way of marrying and all that. What's the conclusion? This is dramatic to paint a picture here, but it's technologically advanced Amazonians and men on leashes. That's the only way they can get what they want.
Yeah.
It's anyways. What are you saying here?
Well, if you give a mouse a cookie.
Sorry, I got distracted there. What were you saying?
Oh, I just said you said Amazonian world with men on leashes, and I said if you give a mouse a cookie, so that you saying is leading up to that. So
yeah. Incredible. So what do you think the women in Korea want, actually?
I think they don't know what they want. And that's the problem, is they're going after a bunch of different things. I mean, ultimately, everybody wants some sort of control. So they want control, but they don't know how. They don't know exactly what they want, but they know that this is going to put them in a place where they don't have to worry about control. So we're going to worry about the next thing after that. So now that men are under our finger, we're going to have to worry about the next thing after that, which is going to bring up another problem where they won't know what they want after that, and they're going to create a new thing that they want, and then they're going to go after that.
Incredible. I think you're right, man. You always have to go after another thing when the first thing that didn't bring you what you wanted. But dang, I think it has just got this story that's been told, and they feel justified in it. And their story is amplified by their personal lives. This one man, my dad, my mom, my boyfriend, this one man, and that experience, they take it with them. And I think we're all doing that. We got this story that's built with these so-called experiences, and we keep that story. And so this is how men are.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, talking about it like from a video game perspective, everybody wants to be the main character in their main story. You know, they dream about being that legend that comes and slays the beast and saves a princess or drops the evil king or something like that. So that's kind of how men will think about themselves, especially men who play video games to get into that imagination. And I'm guilty of it too.
Garrett, can I ask you one thing? And then we'll go. Because I'm getting this impression from the people who are saying, the women who are saying, oh, it's just oppression, patriarchy. We're going to even not have babies. We're going to have 157 schools with no first graders and end society. We'll go even that far. And because we're not getting, we're not being treated right. Now, with that in mind, it almost sounds like if I'm supposed to believe that, this is the part where I turn around and look at Korea and see women being whipped, right? And fire and all these, right? That's what I'm supposed to be seeing, right? Now, help me understand, Garrett. What do you think? What is so bad right now in society that it requires this upheaval between men and women? And what's so bad right now? What are women seeing here that's so bad? What do you think?
Well, I think that there's a big lie. I mean, there's a big lie of oppression that's been implemented. I mean, you think about certain people talking about, I don't know anything about it now, but I've heard plenty about Japan society where women were basically like meant to look pretty, or even to like take it back to like the 1500s or I think whatever the Middle Ages were. Women were meant to be seen and not heard. And so it's been building for hundreds of years where women have been seen and not heard. So the devil will be working throughout the ages, and it might have not manifested quickly, but throughout the ages of being seen and not heard, and now they got that little inch. Wow. I mean, one of the feminism movements giving them the right to vote and then the right to work and everything like that, especially with World War II where they were able to work, then they got like some sense of like, I get to have something. I'm going to be in charge now, or I'm becoming equal, and it's a big fight to be equal to the men when they don't realize that they're trying to be more than.
Dang, Garrett, yeah, that really does feel like at least a somewhat honest bird's eye view on this. Yeah, man, thanks for that, Garrett. Appreciate your call. I'm just wondering because it's like at this point, you would think the militantism or whatever would be turned down. It'd be in proportion to the decadence and kind of all the things women are enjoying today. You'd think that maybe in proportion the military action would maybe tone down a bit. Appreciate your call, Garrett. Call me again.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Right on. Keeping the calls going. Jaime, Minnesota. On the air, sir.
Yo, Nick. How you doing?
All is well, sir. Appreciate your call.
Hey, I remembered you'd been talking about these guys that were going after the PDFs and, putting it online and YouTube. What are they?
Yeah, these like predator hunter type people.
Right, yeah. Right. And I remember seeing some of that content, and I remember there being like a scandal or something, or like when these guys first started doing that type of content, they did it in a very bad way, where they would trick the guy to come to a house, and then in the house there'd be like 4 or whatever big guys with masks and bats, and they strapped him to a chair, and then they made him confess to everything that he did, and they recorded it.
What he had done? Well, I guess maybe he was confessing to previous things.
Whatever, what he was going there to do, this is all that PDF stuff.
Wow.
So they went to the courts, but the guy, he got off because he made all this confession under duress.
Right.
4
guys and bats.
Yeah. So, and they didn't hurt him. They didn't hit him or anything.
Oh, gotcha.
But, they menaced him.
Interesting.
And I believe...
I'll let you finish. Go ahead.
And I believe that... so after that, they did their content different to more of a... hey, come over here and we'll talk to you and talk to you about all this stuff that we know who it is. And so they don't threaten them anymore, these predator catchers.
Right. They don't threaten with violence and stuff.
Right. And I was just wondering, I just thought I'd bring that up since you were talking about that. In that situation, those guys were definitely not as good as one of them PDFs. They're just as bad. That's an evil way to go about things,
Yeah, you can see how that really, in my opinion, and I don't know the details of the situation, all that, but like it really does seem like one of those. This is an example, I think, of good intentions. It's good intentions. So they say good intentions. It's not enough. I mean, when the law and when people's lives are involved, you don't know what you're messing with. You don't know what you're getting involved with. You really shouldn't be going around getting involved in people's lives. I know that people, and this is why I have multiple things to say about the predator catchers. Like, it just doesn't seem. Obviously, no one's condoning the predators or whatever, but that's easy to say that that's wrong. But when you're going around and dealing with people's rights and people's privacy and their lives, you don't want to be getting involved. You could be doing things that's too far. Look, this person that they're threatening with bats, they tricked him to go there. And yes, he was going to go there to do something horrible, but he had not done it yet. It's just, it gets real dicey when you go around not thinking about what you're doing. And really, I wouldn't. The only insider advice anybody should get out of this is don't get involved in people's lives, even in things that seem benign and seem, whatever. It's just, they just want me to help them move this to over here. Like, what's the big deal? You don't really know what people are up to. You don't know what people, their agendas, like, you just don't get involved like that.
Right. And, something could have gotten hairy on that one. Somebody could have gotten killed or anyways, but, that guy, Chris Hansen, I think when he was doing his show, he went around it the right way. Much more controlled. I believe in those shows there were police officers standing by and such.
Right.
I didn't watch a whole lot of that, those shows, but I remember hearing about it every once in a while.
Well, thanks for that.
So, there's a right way and a wrong way to go about things, but if your heart's not in the right place, as in like you don't have anger, then you're going to make the wrong choice every time.
Appreciate that, Jaime.
Yeah, and about the women doing the feminism, are they just maybe homeschooling, or is it for sure that they're just not having kids?
Though when in Korea, it's not even that. I wouldn't say that women in Korea aren't having kids. It's not even like that. That thing personally is a exaggerated conclusion from that story I was talking about. There is, however, all those first grader classes are empty in Korea. So it's not that Korean women aren't having. It's just that a certain number of them, a certain a section of the Korean population is, kind of like what's going on over here, opting out. And you really don't need, you only need a certain percentage in every population, and we don't really know how much. But once this percentage gets reached, you start going downwards in population. It's just mathematics. So I wouldn't say Korean women aren't having children. Like that woman said in that video, that's the general vibes. Women still want to get married, but I think it does speak to something. Sorry, what was your question?
So it seems to me that each generation of this feminism gets kind of more extreme.
Yeah.
And some of them just want more, but it's good to hear that some of them do kind of see the futility in it and decide to stop being angry and then come out, like your previous caller.
That's a good point,
man. In that feminism stuff.
That is a good point, man. It really does get worse. And so it's just a good point, man. Because I learned a lot. I was just talking to a parent the other day, and they were like, I don't understand what's so crazy. It's like, we tried our best, but we weren't that crazy. And what you're saying is just proof that that this is a continuation. It really did start in the home. This is a continuation of what went wrong in the generations before that never got dealt with.
And it all does start in the home. So all these feminist men and women, they teach it to their kids, or they show them how to behave in such a way. But also what the governments, they want the kids in school earlier and earlier so they can indoctrinate them with all these ideologies, the flavor of the day. And then it screws up their thinking, but the parents are putting them in there. But there's a group of people that aren't going to let their kids subject their kids to that.
Incredible.
And, if those feminists and other people, they want to, say, hey, we're not having kids, they age themselves out, like I think it was somebody said in the video maybe.
Yeah.
They aren't going to have kids to indoctrinate of their own, but it's still possible that, these kids, they go to the schools, and whichever government is in control, they're in control of the education. Well, for
incredible.
Schools.
Bring men back. Let's work on it. Right on, Jaime.
Yeah, and it's not that you don't want to bring men back, because the feminist men, you got the weak men. And when we say weak, I
said men. Weak. Ain't no such thing as a feminist man.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So bring the men back, not the males.
Yes, sir. We are all hate report watchers, right? And if you're not, what are you doing? Well, Jaime, appreciate your call, sir. I'm moving just a little fast. Apologies, because I got one last caller before we end the show.
No problem. It's about...
if you have a comment, go ahead. If you have one more thing to say, go ahead. Go ahead. No problem.
Bringing the men back to God.
Nice.
So that they can rebuild the man to rebuild the family.
Thank you, sir. Call me again.
Okay. Bye.
And we got Jeff, Louisiana, on the air. Appreciate your call, sir.
Hey, man, how's it going?
All is well, as they say.
Okay, I got a question for you, and I want to phrase this this way. So I don't know how much you believe in thoughts like Jesse and little Jesse do, but...
Well, ask me your question, and we can find out.
Okay, as far as the women thing, would you rather a Pentecostal woman or the average A woman?
Or a what woman?
Take anybody see walk on the beach out there.
Either a Pentecostal woman or a what woman?
Somebody see walk on the beach in L.A.
I think just a woman on the beach.
Okay.
Over the Pentecostal? Like if you're, like, I don't know. I'm assuming I have not met them. I'm assuming you're Jeff, Louisiana. You come up to me, you put two cards in front of me, you say, Nick, before each one is the contact information of one is a Pentecostal woman, one is a random girl from the beach. If that's all I have to go on, I might have to turn over the girl at the beach card.
Okay, that's why I was asking. I just want how deep y'all all think alike. Because
why do you ask me that though?
Because
I guess he's just want to tell me.
Y'all preach on women on basically. I'm not saying you, but I say hate and Jesse preach on all women should do is have babies, sit at home and have babies, nothing else. I don't need to work. I don't need to be educated. I don't need nothing but just work, just have babies. And that's what basically a Pentecostal woman does.
Did you call James Lil Jesse?
Yeah.
Oh.
He's a white clone of Jesse, man.
That's funny.
I mean,
that's
seriously.
Rude. You call him, and you call him when you call his show. You call him James. I'm not. That's not an order. I'm stating that that's what you do. At least you're. I'm just messing around, Jeff. Sorry. What were you saying? You're saying that. What are you saying about the women though? What was the point of the Pentecostal woman and the beach woman?
It's basically a Pentecostal woman. What I ain't gonna say you. They preach is don't work, don't have a job, don't get educated, don't do nothing but have kids and take care of the house. That's what a Pentecostal woman does.
That's not true. Is that true? I didn't know that. I didn't know that that's what Pentecostal women did. See, when I heard you say Pentecostal woman, all I heard was church girl. All I heard was church woman. I didn't really understand.
They're actually not allowed to get education past. I think it's 8th grade. I think it's 8th grade. They're not allowed to get education past 8th grade.
I didn't know that. See, I just didn't know that. See, when I heard Pentecostal woman, I just heard like a church woman. So you're saying all Pentecostal women, they stay at home, they don't get educated, they're like good wives. You're saying every single that's how Pentecostal women are?
I'm sorry. I said the wrong word. Not Pentecostal. I meant to say Amish.
Amish.
Because I misstated.
I'm following.
Not Pentecostal, Amish. But if you watch,
so are you saying that what we preach means that what we're really talking about is we only want Amish women, and that's really the only type of woman worth marrying? That's what we're saying?
That's the only one fitting y'all's category.
I don't know. I disagree because I bet you Amish women are held up pay sometimes.
What, the barn dance? I mean, what? The barnyard dance? I mean, they're. I watch documentaries all the time. I watch several of them on Pentecostal on Amish women, and the way their lifestyle is, I think it was 8th grade.
Wait, but do you think that's wrong though? Are we wrong for that? Are we wrong for having such a standard? I don't know if I've ever really spoken like to that level of standards, but I don't disagree. Are we wrong for having those standards? If those standards, I never say Amish. I don't ever heard Jesse say that. But let's say those standards means all we mean is Amish women. Are we wrong for that?
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying y'all are wrong for telling everybody else that's what they need to look for.
Why?
And that's what, huh?
Why are we wrong? Or why is Jesse wrong for that?
Well, okay. Why are you?
I don't really tell people. I don't tell people. I don't remember ever giving anyone prescription on what type of woman.
I didn't say you guys. Say it this way.
No, and I didn't say, and I'm not saying that you're saying that, but I'm just making this clear for my viewers, and I'm just kind of remarking on my own show. I actually don't think I've ever made any prescription on what type of woman. But you are describing stuff Jesse has said. Tell me why you think that's wrong. Go.
That's why I made the description. I'll leave you out of it, but. No, you asked me a question. Why is Jesse wrong? Let me ask you another question. Why is Jesse right?
No, I asked you first. Why is he wrong about that? You brought it up.
Yes.
Okay, he's right because think about it. Let's start with one. All these educated women, they got an ego, so you're probably better off. If you was a betting man, you're probably better off. Staying far away from this. She wants to go to university.
I didn't have to say educated. I didn't say necessarily just educated for. I'm saying as far as living a life and getting out of the house and doing something, having a job or doing anything else. I'm just asking why is this. My personal. Okay, my thing is I'm going to ask you one question. I'm going to ask yours.
Okay.
Why is he wrong? Because he cannot point to me somewhere in that Bible where it says that every man should have a woman does this, and not do nothing else in the world except for apologize my vulgar phrase, lay down, spread her legs, pop out kids.
I understand that, Jeff, but to be fair, I don't think Jesse ever said that was in the Bible. I think he's quite clear when he's saying he has his reasons, and he does. And if you listen to him, and I think you have. It's not like arbitrary. He's not just throwing out stuff like, I just don't want women educated, blah, blah, blah. Like he's quite clear on his reasoning. And if you hear him out, it has everything to do with a woman not wanting to be a wife and have her husband be her head. It has everything to do with that. So that's really the point if you pay attention to what he's saying there. You see what I'm saying?
Okay, to be honest, I haven't listened to Jesse in a little over 2 years, I think, because when you call listen to the show, you hear you can call in every call, you hear the same thing. You hear somebody talking about their woman, their wife, their husband, or something, and all you hear is, well, the woman should be here, the woman should do this, woman should do that. So I just listen. Well, okay, last question. Why would you choose the LA woman over the Amish woman?
Say your question. Ask me your question again. I missed
Why
it.
would you choose the LA woman over the Amish woman?
Why would I choose the LA woman over the Amish woman? Are you asking me that?
Yeah.
I don't know if I would.
You just said
I don't really see it like that. I know you asked me who would I go for if you asked me over a Pentecostal woman, which I now know what you mean, Amish, or a beach person. The reason I said, let me explain my reasoning when you had asked me that question. At the moment, I was thinking Pentecostal. I didn't think deeply. I just thought church girl. And when you had asked me that question, in my mind, I don't necessarily see a church girl or a woman that goes to church as just it's just a known thing that she's like a good or decent woman. In fact, I think you can run into some trouble with some woman. It's just like an educated woman, a woman who knows the Bible, will use it against you, right? So that's why I answered that question at that time and in the way I did. Now I know you mean Amish. Now that it's an Amish woman, I don't know. I think I might turn the card on Amish. I've never met an Amish girl. I think it might just be interesting. But to finish this, Jeff, if I may. I think the focus is wrong here. We're not even a woman, whether she's Amish or from LA. If she has that spirit in her to rebel, anger, she hasn't forgiven, she is no different. That's really the point I get. That's really what I get when I listen to Jesse. When we're listening to Bond and all that. That's really the point I get. So this focus on whether Jesse's telling people he can only go after Amish women is also a miss. Or the implication that Jesse is basically telling men, you can only go for Amish women, is also a misunderstanding of what he's saying. Because again, his focus is not, and again, you can go ahead and ask him about this, but his focus is really not about if she's a beach girl in LA or Amish, or even what she does, but her heart. And hearts of women today are full of ego. Look at them. Don't you agree? Yeah. But women, man, but come on.
Yeah, but man, you can't just do it one side argument. You can't say okay.
It's not one sided. I didn't ever say it was one sided.
No,
if you notice, I said yes, but you assumed it was one sided.
That's the point that say.
I think there's a knee-jerk reaction in society to just be all defensive like this. No one is saying it's one-sided. I went, yeah, but women, to see how you would react, because I feel like you might have like a soft spot for women, because no one's being soft on the men here.
Okay, man, I ain't gonna hang up on any conversation here to put words on me. You trying to stereotype me? I'm not, man. You have a good.
Did I stereotype you? My bad. I didn't mean to do that. Can you want to clear it up before you go?
No, man, I ain't. No, I'm just gonna keep going on this fast 4 o'clock. It's time to get off anyway.
It's no problem, Jeff. Call me again. Hey, I didn't mean to stereotype you. You're welcome to clear it up. I'm not trying to put words in your mouth. You want to clear it up?
I understand, man. Have a good one.
Call me again, sir. That's the show, folks. And that's the show. Call me tomorrow, because we got more show. It's Bible Thumper Thursday. You don't want to miss it on the Jesse Lee Peterson show. Hake Report and Joel. As always, beautiful, amazing shows. And of course, American Anchor Baby Thursday. We'll be back noon, so don't miss it. Appreciate you, folks. Let me check here, though, real quick before I go. Any super chats, coffees, and the like. So you can buy me a coffee.com/anchorbaby. And Carver, thank you, sir. Thank you for the super chat and the coffee. He writes, late 20s, athletic build. Interests include flying airplanes, Dragon Ball Z, and long walks on the VR beach. Seeking uneducated Amish or Pentecostal women in the LA area. Must support 𝒏𝒊𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒕. Carver, cracking me up, and maybe in my head a little bit. I do appreciate the support, folks. That's it. Tomorrow, I'll be back. All right, y'all. Peace. Take care.